Here we have the current stock market analysis for AMC Entertainment Holdings Incorporated, stock ticker AMC. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comment section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have somewhat of a major day here. We will be seeing GameStop earnings released at the end of the trading day today. So this is going to be a bit of an inflection point, in my opinion. I do think that this is a very important day, both for AMC and for GameStop. I do think that we could start to see some major reversals here in one direction or another. So we will be looking at some specific price levels on this chart to hopefully identify some profitable trading strategies for this stock going forward. So as we can see currently, share prices are hovering right around this $5 mark. For the most part, the stock has had a bit of trouble overcoming this area previously. We've seen several instances, roughly, we could point back to this area here where share prices did attempt to overcome this level and then failed and posted new lows coming in at $4.61. Since then, we have seen share prices break above some key resistance levels and overcome that $5 mark once again. But currently, we're sort of hovering right around this area. And I don't think this is entirely surprising price movement at the moment, given the fact that there is a very important event risk that will be seen today, and that is the GameStop quarterly earnings report. So one thing that we have to keep in mind here is the fact that the market has not been rewarding strong earnings reports. We've seen several examples of this. Anybody that follows my channel knows that I've covered this extensively. Key examples here would include NVIDIA and Broadcom. I understand that many people aren't interested in those stocks necessarily, but I do think that it's important to pay attention to what is going on elsewhere in the market, and you can watch those videos if you want a further explanation. But I do think that it's important to understand what's going on more broadly in the market, because in those two examples, we see very clear instances where the market has been punishing positive earnings releases. So both of those companies released very strong earnings, and the share price gapped lower massively. Very substantial price movements to the downside, huge amounts of selling pressure. So, my central question here is what will happen to GameStop if even in the event that we do see a positive earnings report? Like, never mind what happens if it's negative. Never mind what happens if it's, a disappointing figure. But even if we see a positive earnings figure here, is the market going to suddenly change its trend and start rewarding GameStop, based on this positive outcome? One major risk here that I would point to would be the fact that share prices have already seen these fairly substantial moves in the positive direction. So once you start to see rallies like this, you can point to positive situations here. For example, I'll point to one here. We can look at the indicator reading, and here we can see that the upward price movement here does suggest that there is bullish momentum underlying AMC stock at the moment. That's a positive. I'm not saying that's a negative. It's a positive. So that's a good thing, positive momentum. However, what occurs here if share prices do start to head lower? I just think that there's a lot of distance here that can be covered to the downside and much less distance here that can be covered to the top side. Next resistance for this stock in particular, if we're just focusing on AMC here, the next resistance zone comes in right around 525. That's not much higher than current share prices. We're looking at about 30 cents here away from current share prices. So, a potential upside here of 30 cents maybe. And then if we do see share prices break above there, the next level of the resistance that you'd be looking at would come in at 575. That would be the triple top resistance zone that I've pointed to for a while now in prior videos. This is a very major level of resistance. So this would be the next level to watch to the top side, 575. So first you have to deal with 525, and then you have to deal with 575. So at the moment we're trading just below the $5 mark once again. And my real question here is, how is the market going to react, even in the event that we do see a positive earnings number? And I don't see much evidence which would suggest that we will see positive earnings results from GameStop today. Doesn't mean it can't happen. Could they surprise the market to the top side? Absolutely. Am I saying this because I'm being paid by a hedge fund, or I have some sort of short position? No. If I did have a short position, I would be more than happy to tell you people. Okay. I'm not afraid of telling you that I have a short position. I don't understand why people would think that I would need to keep that a secret. I could tell you. I don't have a position either way. I'm the most objective viewpoint you're going to get on the stock because everybody else really has a long position. Everybody else that's covering the stock has a long position. So that's an obvious bias. I don't have a position in either direction. I don't care. The stock could go to the moon. That would be perfectly fine. Let's let everybody get rich. It's like the Oprah Winfrey show, a car for you, a car for you, a car for you. That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. But we have what I'm saying here is we need to be objective about what's going on, and the potential for upside here is relatively limited when you compare this to the potential for downside. There's much more risk here to the downside, and we have to keep in mind that share prices have not been positively influenced recently by strong earnings reports, and these are even very strong earnings reports. I mean, does anybody really believe that GameStop is going to match the quarterly performance that was seen with Nvidia? I mean, just take a second and think about that. It's ridiculous to think that that's even remotely likely. So I can't even imagine what happens to these stocks here if we do start to see a negative number. At the very least, you would start to move below the exponential moving average cluster, which would be this area here. And then that would turn momentum back to the downside. The next level of support that you would be looking at to the downside comes in right just above 480, roughly $4.82. And then from there, you're really looking at a retest and back into these lower 460s. Overall, in my view, this is really setting up for a huge amount of disappointment, especially when you have every other clickbaiter on this platform talking about how we're mooning at the moment and things like that. People, we're looking at 50 cents in share prices here, 50 cents in share price movements. Okay. It's not a huge rally. Okay. And there's a major event risk today. And I'm seeing many people in the comments that are saying that they're entering into new long positions and things like that. I just bought more AMC. I just bought more GME. It's like you people are buying at elevated levels. You're buying into the hype. That's not how this works. Buy low, sell high. You don't buy high and then panic once an event risk comes out and the stock market punishes positive earnings, and now you're in a position that you can't get out of. So there are major event risks here, and I really don't recommend that people start to buy the stock at these upper levels. So here's the current stock market analysis for AMC Entertainment Holdings, stock ticker AMC. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.